Unicorn. What is a unicorn? Well, yeah, okay, there is this mythical creature of a horse with a horn that grows out of it, tons of magical powers. There's just lots of mythology around a unicorn. Now, in terms of threesomes, a unicorn is that person who is interested in being the third. Now, I believe if you really get down to some of the technicalities of a unicorn, it's that they are actually interested equally in one partner as well as the other partner. Therefore, a mythical character as well. Because the chances that that happens is just slim to none, which is another reason why they also refer to this type of person as a unicorn, because it's just extremely rare to meet them if you go to like a swinger club or wherever it is that you end up meeting this third person. But I wanted to do this video though on the perspective of the third person inside a threesome. There's been now another 3 videos that I did, one which was about polyamory, polyagony, and threesomes from the guy's perspectives, a little bit of critique on that, actually quite a lot of critique on that, in terms of also then the woman's side if it's 2 men, and then also, well, could it potentially work in a good way? Well, let's talk about this third person. And how do you ensure that you as the third person actually have a good experience? Now, have you ever heard of Betty Martin's work, The Wheel of Consent? Now, in The Wheel of Consent, there are 4 different quadrants. And that is taking and allowing, giving, and receiving. And just a quick general overview of it, and there are people who literally spend their careers going into this. But in general, taking is doing something for your own pleasure with another person. So in other words, let's just say like touch. I'm doing the touch, but I'm doing it for my pleasure. That would be taking. Allowing would be someone else touching me, but for their pleasure, and I am allowing that. So it's me receiving the touch, but for the other person's pleasure. And there's giving. That would be kind of your more typical masseuse scenario where you are doing touch for the other person's pleasure. And then there's receiving. It's where you are then on the receiving side of touch, but it's for your pleasure. So do you see how those fit together there? It can get a little bit heady. But let me tell you this. If you are the unicorn, or you're wanting to be a unicorn, or if you're wanting just to be intimate with a couple, then you really need to understand what is the dynamic that's going to be happening there, whether it's you're in this to give, to receive, to allow, or to take. What is it that the couple is wanting? Are they wanting to give, receive, allow, or take? Are they wanting to give, receive, allow, or take for one person in the couple, where you would then team up with one of the partners to then do this for the other partner? Are they wanting to maybe watch you do this to the one partner? Are they wanting to do this towards you? Are they wanting to both do this to you at the same time, or have you do this to both of them at the same time? These are all important dynamics, and people don't always think of the third person. In fact, it's the third person that in some ways doesn't have the support of a partner to be there. So though, as much as it can be like, oh, well, it's easy for the third person, because they don't have to deal with all the struggles of the relationship dynamic. Well, if the relationship is solid and doing well, then all of a sudden there is actually a good amount of challenge for the third person there, because you do not want to feel used. And at the same time, you also don't want to create damage to a relationship that's doing really well. So again, we have these 3 factors to consider. One is the social dynamic, which we just spoke about. Well, what is this? Is this primarily, are you there to sort of, because you just enjoy being of service to a couple? A lot of times I will see female friends, female clients, they will enjoy going into a threesome with a couple because, frankly, at some point, they would like to have a relationship. They would like to have that imprint of being around a good relationship. Maybe they're not quite ready to have that relationship themselves for whatever reason. So then they want to just be in that energy of it. But again, they also don't want to then feel used by that couple. So figure out where it is that the focus is going to be placed. You know, is it on the female partner? Is it on the male partner? Maybe it's a gay couple. Is it on the dominant partner? Is it on the submissive partner? Is it on the one that's in the giving position or the receiver position? If, you know, there's a penetrative aspect to it, or who are you actually teaming up with? What is that dynamic that is there? Because, and let's just go the heteronormative route here for a second. If you have two men, for instance, and a woman, then a lot of times when I've seen that dynamic, it's because the guys like to be on a team and hoping to pleasure this woman and take her to new states and just really just laud her with all kinds of just luxurious touch and pleasure and sensation, and just see how much energy that she can really bring forward and just luxuriate in that. So again, there's always the quality of the partner that would maybe have the fear of being replaced somehow. So now it doesn't even have to be heteronormative. You're going to want to make sure that you have a good connection with them and that the two of you are on a team, and that's just in terms of the social dynamic. Now that doesn't mean necessarily that you will be on a team in terms of either the emotional or the physical component, because you could then be on a team, we're going to pleasure this amazing other person, but we're not going to engage sexually. So all the sensation is directed towards them. Again, you have to think, well, is that sensation being directed towards myself now maybe? Well, do I just want to be touched by one while the other one kind of observes this? Or I just get touched by that one partner and then they are touching the other partner. So again, figuring out that dynamic of where your boundaries are and where your desires and where your curiosities are is going to be absolutely crucial, and you better be very good at communicating them. So that way then the couple knows, because again, you are in one sense on your own, you are focused on, and you're going to need to be able to communicate. So that deals with some of the physiological aspects of it, or the physical sensation side. But then what about the emotional part? If you are wanting to have this be something that is regular or something that has the potential for that, then you need to be clear that you actually do like to have a little bit of warm-up before, you like to enjoy yourself in the moment, but then you'd like to have a follow-up. Is this going to be a couple that you would like to see regularly, that you would like to not always have to have it be sexual, but maybe you want to just be able to enjoy cups of coffee or tea or whatever it is that you do on a Wednesday, Friday type of evening and just be able to hang out? Are you enjoying conversations with them? Are there other aspects to that relationship that might start to head more towards something polyamorous versus just a threesome? You need to figure that out. Or maybe you just really want, no, this is going to be something that is just purely physical, maybe it happens, or this is a one-time only thing. Clear beginning, clear middle, clear end, and kaput, and you keep it that way. So regardless, these are just some generalities there that you should be aware of if you are the unicorn, but also if you are a couple going out there, and this is something that I hear time and time again from those who would label themselves a unicorn, they will assess you based off of your understanding of all these things that I just laid out. So whether you are a unicorn or whether you are a person or a couple searching for a unicorn, you're going to want to be very well aware of all three of these components, and you really better understand the directionality of intention and touch and emotions when it comes to that wheel of consent. Because if you're not, then I can guarantee you one thing. The unicorn will stay what it always has been. A mythological character that you've only read about and you'll never see.